Cowboy Bebop is a 1998 anime television show directed by Shinichiro Watanabe. Spike Spiegel is a bounty hunter in the far future with an easygoing attitude and some deadly skill at martial arts. Together with his partners Jet Black and later Faye Valentine as well, they go from job to job across the galaxy looking for the high-priced fugitives to bag. I saw this in a YouTube comment section and I have to agree with this. This is basically if Guardians of the Galaxy was directed by Quentin Tarantino. A lot of these characters like Jet Black, Faye Valentine, Spike Spiegel feel like they were the inspiration for many of the Guardians characters in the film, and I wouldn't be surprised if James Gunn took some inspiration from here and applied that to his characters because they seem way too familiar in my eyes. But as for the show itself, how is it? How does it hold up? I heard it was like a great show of sorts, and that's why I bought the Blu-ray and checked out all 26 episodes. And I have to say, it was a tiny bit overhyped for me. That being said, this show was absolutely incredible. I loved all 26 episodes of it. I may not be in the same boat that calls this the greatest anime ever made, mostly because I still have a lot of anime to watch before I give that sort of judgment. But my goodness, this anime was just so rich in character, in animation, and writing and directing. It's just, this was so brilliant. Like, okay, let's chill, let's talk about it. Now, this show is very episodic in nature. While it does follow a certain plot line that runs throughout the episode and season, this is very serialized. A lot of these episodes are like about these characters trying to collect bounties, and occasionally we'll go to the main plot with Spike Spiegel in his past and how all that's catching up to him. Most of the episodes are just the characters looking for bounties, and a lot of times, most of the time, it basically connects back to their personal lives in some way or builds character for them to keep moving forward through the plot, and they learn some sort of moral lesson. There's always something to be taken out of these episodes, even when it may feel like filler at times. There is always something important going on for the characters that progresses them forward. So by the end, when we finally reach the main end goal of the entire show and what everything is leading towards, we feel so much sympathy for these characters as we understand where they have been through, as we understand what they have been through, and how this entire event just took a toll on them. And many of these characters had a lot of development. Like Jet Black was an ex-cop who was wronged by his work life, his love life, and a lot of that is due to him being just a good cop and a good lover. And unfortunately, life was just too hard on him, and he got the short end of the stick always. And he still was able to find a way to come out okay, because not only he was just level-headed, he is caring, strong, and was able to push forward with a healthy mind. While many of these events bother him, as a character, he is still strong enough to keep pushing forward and put his mind into what he is able to do best. Though moving forward is not as easy for many other characters. Faye Valentine is one who is so fixated on her past that it's hard for her to move on to the future. She is someone who has literally lost everything and can't remember. She is suffering from a memory loss. She's trying to figure out who she is throughout the entire show, and we empathize with her. She started off a bit of a sex appeal, someone who uses her looks to get her bounty and what she wants, and she always acts very nonchalant around the characters, like she doesn't care about them or anything, and is just in it for the money, and you don't know if she's going to betray them. But as we learn more about her character and why she's like that, how she is very untrusting of people after what she's been through, she becomes someone who is more sympathetic, and when you look back at the rest of the series, you understand her completely now, and there's now a new context given to her actions that for when you rewatch it, you understand where she's coming from, and she doesn't become an unlikable character all throughout. She becomes a character that you just want to see succeed and get out of this situation, because you want her to keep forming this family and relationship with this group that she has now a deep connection with, especially with Ed, who is a bit more the comic relief type character. He probably has less characterization, as she is someone who's just in it for the fun and is a tech whiz kid who was abandoned by her family. And while she does have her own character arc, it is not as significant as the others. She is someone who is just trying to make the best of her life. And so when by the end her character arc finishes, it basically signifies significant change for the rest of the show. And those final few episodes and how it concluded the entire story of Spike Spiegel, I found was incredible. The character of Spike here is someone who is very chill and laid back. He doesn't really care much. His motto is that whatever happens, happens. It's like a cool motto at first, because you just think that he just doesn't care and just let life just go as it goes. But as you learn more about his past, his relationships, and how everything went wrong, and the people who he fought with, and how they all betrayed him, and it makes his conflict with Vicious, who is the main antagonist of the show, all the more intense to watch. Vicious doesn't appear much in the film, but because we are learning so much about Spike and his past, we are so intrigued as to what Vicious can do. And the few glimpses we see of him actually get in conflict with Spike, you're always tensed up as to what he's able to do. Because whenever he's on screen, he just has a presence that terrifies you. So when we get to the Battle of Fallen Angels and the actual main conflict occurs between Spike and Vicious, you are tensed up. You are intrigued as to what is going to happen throughout the rest of the show. This show does a good job setting up characters, having you feel empathy or fear from them, having you laugh along with them and be intrigued in their adventures, and they just feel like a fun group to be around. They have such good chemistry, dialogue, and banter with one another, and they're just a likable group of misfits that you just want to keep watching more of. As for the production side of things, this anime still looks incredible for 1998. While there are some computer generated effects to help make many of the most visually impossible things to do with just hand-drawn animation look fantastic, it's used sparingly enough to where it doesn't look that noticeable. In fact, the CGI effects still look overall fine for the time this show came out. But the hand-drawn animation and cell animation was just overall fantastic. This show had such a unique style to it. The fight and action sequences are absolutely well animated and fast and energetic. A lot of the comedy flowed very well due to the animated nature of things, especially with characters like Ed and Faye Valentine. It's just a visually appealing show, and the world building itself was awesome. Seeing this futuristic galaxy actually flourish and us going to different planets or different systems or different ships, seeing all these space battles. It is like a Quentin Tarantino's version of Star Wars, and I love it. As for flaws, no, I really don't have any. I just don't think I love it as much as some other people do. That being said, I still absolutely love this show. The episodic nature, how these episodes at times can feel tonally very different. Like one episode, you could have Ed go on a mushroom chase with his dog and it's very funny and everyone gets high. But then you have episodes where a killer is psychologically tormenting our main characters, and by the end of that episode it comes full circle and at times feels like something out of a horror movie. And the show was still able to balance these tones very well, and it still was able to feel consistent. That's due to the overall feel of the show. This show feels very relaxed, chill, and it does feel like that whatever happens will happen, like Spike Spiegel's motto. And at the very end, it becomes so poetic. Again, I don't want to spoil this in case there are some people that haven't seen Cowboy Bebop. I know a lot of people have, but this is a review for people who haven't seen it like I had. This show really was incredible. The animation is great, the characters are fantastic and well written, the episodes are well directed, beautifully animated, the fight choreography is amazing. I love the cowboy aesthetic mixed with martial arts. It makes for some unique fight sequences and some of the best I've seen in an anime in general. This was an overall treat to watch, and at some point in my life in the future, I will definitely be coming back to this show and showing it to many friends or family members who haven't seen it. This is definitely one of the best shows I've seen in general. It is that damn good. I'm going to give Cowboy Bebop an A+. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please leave a like, subscribe, comment, and I will see you guys next time.